Yeah, man, we sitting here with film director, actor, writer, Nakia T Hamilton. He does it all, man. And I just want to congratulate you on your success, bro.
Thank you, man.
And I really appreciate you coming out to talk to me right now.
No problem at all, man.
And let's get right to it, man.
Yeah. I'm not an actor though. I did do
You're not an actor?
a little part of the movie, but nah, I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm not gonna do the acting thing.
Okay, that's respected.
Yeah.
Respected. And now let's just start off where I'm gonna be all around the place, jumping all around the place, right? And I'm gonna start off where I came in at.
Gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna start to where I came in at, right?
That was an interesting time. That's interesting you say that. That was a very interesting time. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I came in around 2017 when I start working at LP, and I just noticed you. I didn't know you that well, and I just noticed that, like, you on every break, you had the laptop set up, and you was over there doing your thing. You wasn't bothering nobody. You was hoping that people wouldn't bother you, because I'm sure you was concentrating. And it seemed like I seen you for like 1 year, and you just disappeared. And that year was 2017, and you came out with Beautifully Insecure that year, right? And everybody was saying, yeah, the movie is in Walmart. You know, the movie is in Walmart. I seen it online. That's where I saw that. It's a really good movie, by the way.
Thank you, man.
And
Thank you.
from there, you did 2019. You came out with Secure the Bag, and you did Boo Boo the Fool in 22. You might have did some things in between that, but you also did Let Go and Let God with Clifton Powell and Dalen Terry. And I gotta say, man, just as an ex-co-worker of yours, man, I'm impressed. I'm impressed how you could just leave that gig and make a living for yourself. And did you have anything, even if it wasn't nothing major like these, something that you was proud of, or something that like made you want to go forward?
What made me want to go forward was actually, you know what was funny? I was doing these like local documentaries, and honestly, it wasn't about trying to make it or do anything. It was just the documentaries. You know what I mean? It was local stories, and I wanted to do like some scenes, so I did the documentary, and I mixed it with scenes called Put a Ring on It. So it was like a documentary style. Then we filmed like one scene, and after that, I was like, no, I think I could do a movie, and that's how kind of like that concept what moved me forward. It really wasn't like the artistic part and all that. You know what I'm saying? Well, what I love about film is, and this what confuses when I work with them. I like the artistic part. I like the creative part. I like what it does to people emotionally and all those things like that. But I like what
I gotta turn it off. I got it. I'm sorry, bro.
You're good. I like what film does for people emotionally and all those things. But what I like about film is what it allows, the personal freedom it gives me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like right now, I can put my son in a movie, you know, and I can walk into a distributor and it can get put out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like when I make a movie, I can decide, do I want to own it 100% or do I want to give it a percentage? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the joy of it.
So you're independent?
Yeah, I'm definitely independent. Like the whole Hollywood writers get all that has nothing to do with me. Actually, it's opportunity, because if they're not working, I got work for you. So, you know what I mean?
So I just want to congratulate you, man, because you was honored at the North Carolina Black Film Festival, and I think that's a big deal.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. So let me ask you this. What you just mentioned to me about the documentary, and then you would add clips, and all this stuff came before Beautifully Insecure. Like,
yeah.
Now, let me ask you this question here. From Beautifully Insecure from 2017 to Secure the Bag in 2019, to Boo Boo the Fool in 2022, and Let Go and Let God, do you see any growth in what in you? Do you
Oh
see any
yeah,
growth in you
yeah.
in that time?
And my growth, I think, is a lot different than others because I focus on how the business operate a little more. I don't know why I just gravitated towards that versus all the camera tricks and all. You know what I'm saying? And so in that sense, just the way I think about film, and it's funny when you really dive in and try to master something, it impacts other areas in your life. So I approach, raising my kids different and all these different type of things just from the impact of film. So yeah, the growth, Beautifully Insecure. Well, actually, there was a movie called The Greatest Sex I Ever Had, a comedy, was my official first feature film.
Okay.
But Beautifully Insecure was the first film I got to deal with. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
Yeah, like the Greatest Sex I Ever Had, we probably sold 2,000 copies. And you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
I wish I could sell an album for 2,000
well,
copies.
Well, yeah, and
that's
that
a
time,
lot to me.
yeah, to an album, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But so then I went to Beautifully Insecure. Then there was a break between that because there was a lesson to learn with Beautifully Insecure and just the business.
Yeah.
And so once that was settled, I was able to get to Let Go, Let God and Secure the Bag. And we kind of did those like together almost, like literally back to back. And we submitted them in basically at the same time. Then from then on, I was able to learn the business and the main growth I think happened was around COVID. So it was after Let Go, Let God. It was after Secure the Bag and Beautifully Insecure. It was around complexions. We were just finishing a movie and Kobe died. And
Yeah.
I remember all that's going on. Then I remember how it shifted the film industry, and he had nothing. He wasn't a film. He was, but he wasn't, because now there was people that had basketball stories that didn't have value. Now they have value.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just some rinky-dink story, like well, I hate to call it rinky-dink, but they just made a movie about basketball and a basketball player died and all this. Now because that happened to Kobe, their film had, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it taught me a lot about the business and how people see things in the business. So once that happened, I realized with COVID, we had to make a decision. Everybody wasn't filming, people wasn't acting, but places still needed to be rented, equipment still needed to be rented. So I was like, what can we do? I said, I'm just gonna make as many as I can. And that's what we started doing every day. I didn't do nothing else. I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed in the house,
Just
wrote,
working.
film, edit, wrote, film, edit, wrote to the editor, was like, man.
You said rope, film, edit, rope, film, edit.
Yeah, boom, 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 back to back.
It's cool that you said that because I don't really know what that is, but this question and probably help me
Okay.
understand that. What is your process for directing a film?
I layer everything I do.
You layer it?
Yeah, and I never really told anybody that. I layer
Well,
everything.
if it's a secret that you want to keep to yourself, you don't have to answer that.
I wouldn't say it was a secret like that, but I think it's
Okay.
something that could help a lot of filmmakers. Layering your stuff, I was able to see the whole thing. You know what I mean? So like, for example, you can take me to any room if it was scratch and just give me a script and say film. I would basically read the script and see how many people in it. I would look at it and say where we want to film. Then I would take everything out and I would just focus on the background. And once I get that right, then I'll bring people in. Then I'll separate them from the background and only focus on them. Then when both of them are ready, boom, we can do. But most people, they worry about the people, then they're trying to do this, they're trying to do this at the same time. No,
Yeah.
get all out of there. I'm only concerned about the background. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm only concerned about this.
Right,
We're
one step
only
at a
concerned
time.
about blocking. And if it interrupts something else, then we'll change it when we get down to the end, but we're only concerned about these. And then once you do it over again, it becomes a routine, just, faster,
Oh, yeah.
faster.
Oh,
But
yeah.
just being organized, you know what I mean? And it's not even being really organized in a sense, it's just taking it. It's funny, man, when I slowed down, I started getting more done.
When
You know what I'm
slow down.
saying? When I stopped being everywhere and just saying this in, this in, this in, this here.
And you
this
start
here,
perfecting it.
The next thing you know, you was like, then that year of COVID, we ended up making 6 movies in that one year during COVID.
Oh man, how do you work with actors and create the best performances?
There's a guy, he's passed away years ago. He was a motivational speaker, older white guy named Jim Ron. I think Ron, I think he pronounced the last name Ron. He said, when you got the right people, you don't have to show them what to do. You don't have to teach them. You know what I mean? And what I realize is they want to do the job. They're going to figure it out. They're going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You may just tell them direction. You may give them a little bump, a little investment, but you don't have to hold their hand. You don't have to a whole curriculum for them and all the stuff like that. Like they want to do the job. So I try to find the right actors, and what I realize, I'm able to write scripts faster if I pick the right actors.
Right.
Because I don't have to be so detailed.
People that are seasoned.
Yeah. And it's not even seasoned. It's a level of maturity and accountability.
Exactly.
That I don't care if you are a 7 and I got another person that's a 10. If I know you're going to give me your best 7 are good, I can't deal with somebody that's a 10 and only going to give me a 7. Because then they're bringing other people down. They're bringing, you know what I mean? But if you're a 7, there's no junk there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes we try to go for the most talented, the most this, but it destroys everything else. I lost, December last year, I lost 15, the other guy lost $10,000 in like 4 or 5 days because of actor. Just like, boom. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to lose $5, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So picking the right people, and once I do that, I realize I can give them a general script, and they could take a line, and they could say it their way. They can be consistent with the actor, with the character all the way through because they're doing it their way. I just gave them the freedom. But if I'm over their shoulder, you know what I mean, every 5 minutes, it's time wasted. It's extra time put in the script. And then, like, I'm trying to force them out of their element. You know what I mean? But if I pick the right people, they're going to do the job, and it's going to work.
So how do you handle difficult situations on set? Like when you lost $10,000 because of acting, how did you handle that?
You walk away.
You just walk away.
Well, what I've learned that if you wake up every day, give everything you got, there ain't nothing else to look back at. You know what I mean? I went in there, gave everything I got, and at the end of that day, I lost $15,000. At that day, with me giving 100%, I'm glad I gave 100% that day. I ain't give 50%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so sometimes that's how you got to look at it. Now, of course, you take the information and don't let it happen again. Like there's certain rules that we have. That was the first time we had 3 actors that were new. First time we ever worked with them, first time they ever worked with each other. We'll never do that again. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We get our checklist to make sure it never happens again, but you just have to walk away and clear your mind. I started reading more books about leadership. You know what I mean? You just got to elevate yourself.
How do you choose who you want to play roles in the film? Like you got 8 actors that's willing to act for you, but how do you choose who plays what role?
For me, what makes it easy, I think it's easier for a person to act when a part of that person is them, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if there's a scene where a girl needs to be real lustful or sexy, she needs to be just confident in her natural life.
In real life.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
She needs to be sexy in real life.
Because what I found out is even some people don't know how to yell and argue. Like that's not in them. And I had scenes where I'm like, yeah. They were like, I don't do that. I'm like, what you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it made me realize they would really have to act and get outside themselves. And I mean, you probably seen it. Some people tap into the spiritual world to do that stuff. Some people literally go and call on the devil. You know what I mean?
Hey man, I don't know I don't know if it's real or if it's acting, but I don't like Monique no more. After that movie, what was that movie we saw? Well, this ain't about Monique, but Monique just dropped the movie, and she played so much evil in that movie that I don't even want to meet her in real life.
I met people like that. I met people where there's an actor I know, and I had 2 people at 2 different times, like 2 years apart, said when his name came up, said I don't like him because of a role he played when he raped a girl in the movie.
Yeah.
And what I try to do now is look at what does this mean. It gives you an example of how powerful film is. So we got to be cautious when we let our kids watch, we let people watch, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
People are literally hating the guy they never physically met or talk, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because of something he was pretending to be that that was fake.
But if he played that role so good, he probably had a little bit of it in him.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but I'm saying just the awareness of the power of film now,
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have to kind of look at things different. So yeah, like that whole thing, I try to let people be themselves. I think it's easier for them to fall into the role, be consistent with the role, and it's less hand-holding I have to do. If I give people a space, they can just dance in. You know what I mean?
Is there a format to filming? Like, what is better, following a format or doing things your way?
if your way is following a format, then I get, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things I tell people all the time. You got to figure your thing out, and it's tough to figure your thing out if you don't know who you are. And you know, the average people don't. So average people just copy somebody. Their dream is to be a part of somebody else's dream. It's not, don't even know who they, don't even know their purpose. Their dream is, you know how many people say my dream is to get to Tyler Perry studio?
Oh yeah.
You think God purpose for you to get to Tyler Perry? Like, how insane! But our mind is there because we're not accountable for ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we feel more confident because it's. And I mean the truth. It feels different because Jordan is on the shoe. Yeah. But if it was somebody else, I wouldn't feel the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and when you think about your relationship with God and all these different things, you have to kind of and catch yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? Well, we're not gonna be perfect, but it's wild. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you doing good, and I appreciate it. When, why, and like where did your passion come from? Well, you did tell me about the clips and the documentaries. Is that where your passion came from?
Honestly, I think my passion is opportunity, man, for other people. Like personal freedom is a big thing to me. I meet people, man. Bro, like, and I feel sad for some people sometimes because I meet people that are so talented and they're not living their full self, and they're surrounded by people that don't know. Like, I hate to even get into it, but history with slavery and even redlining has done so much to us. Some of us don't know how great we are and what we can do. You know what I mean? Redlining alone, it just, they just said, y'all got to stay here, and we're gonna tell the world this is a bad place. So only the liquor stores and places are going, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna let our people stay here. Even though y'all can afford to stay here, we're gonna let our people stay here, and we're gonna get these houses and this money, and it just impact the way we think as people so much, man. It is sad, man. I wasn't really trying to go that direction.
It's okay. But since you're there, can you give me can you simplify a definition of redlining?
I can't remember the exact year. There's a book called, oh my God. In my movie, Hair, Love, and Racism, I believe he mentions the book in there. But there's a book, and it talks about how, what they would do with redlining in the communities, they would draw a red line for an area, and that area, basically, they were trying to get the African Americans to stay there.
Okay.
And so what happens is, one of the ways it started, I think it was up north, one of the examples in the book, and this is before people were trying to go out in these suburbs.
Right.
The people weren't trying to go out in the suburbs then. So companies was giving these people large amounts of money to build tons of houses out in the suburbs. Like, who was gonna do that? In the actual contracts, it said you cannot sell to the African American and you cannot resell to African American. And it's still in the contracts today, but it's not enforced. Like, still today in 2023, it's not enforced.
Right.
But basically what would happen is, redline in this area, African Americans could stay there, but we're not invested in those areas. We're not doing this. That area, they can buy a house there all they want to, even though they can afford to stay in this area. Their money's just gonna deteriorate, you know what I mean? But in this area, the same people with the same amount of money, we're gonna let them stay in these houses. And we're gonna build the value, and we're only gonna let white people stay here. We're gonna build strip malls around it. We're gonna get the big companies and stuff to come around it to build up the value. But these parts, in 10 years will be ghettos. This part in 10 years will be a nice, you know what I mean, Hamptons. I mean, so that's kind of a basic general, but it's a lot deeper than that.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. Now, as far as like you shooting movies, and you've been doing this for a while, you have several under in your catalog. Are there many cameras that's necessary, or is it only like one, the right camera that you need, or do you need like multiple cameras? It
really depends on your style, and that's another thing too, man. Just finding like who you are and who you are as a filmmaker. You can kind of find your style. Some people want to go with the most known, most popular camera at the time, and it's usually a good reason, but a lot of that stuff is trendy. You know what I mean? Like, there's some cheap cameras that we put, like, if you got talent, you can film it with a phone. Right. You understand lighting, how to move it, and all that stuff like that. Right. So only reason the camera makes a difference is the software you're using, and you understand it can help you get to a certain point of the style you're trying to create. So there's really not one camera. My first movie, Beautifully Insecure, was shot with a Canon 7D. They don't even make them anymore. I brought it used for like $600. Hulu wanted the movie. I filmed it with a 600. You see what I'm saying?
How about that?
Yeah, and then I was like, because I didn't know the technical part, they had it set up, they had the trail up and everything. I didn't know how to fix the technical part, so the movie never went fully through.
I think it's more about the editing as well. I don't know if that's true, but I think the editing, knowing that, probably help out a lot.
The thing about what I've learned filming and editing, I think all editors will be better if every movie they're going to edit, they was on set the whole time. You know what I mean? I can film a lot faster than I could before, because now, while I'm filming, I know what to film, what not to film, what to take out, what to take. Some people, they film every angle, but you should already know what the angle means, what the angle's going to say to the audience at this point in the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if you only need, sometimes when we set up a whole set, I do 2 takes.
You only shoot what you know you need.
If you know what you need.
If you're knowledgeable.
No, if you know what you need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like with cameras, man, honestly, man, I would get whatever camera you can get for free, and I would try to get the best look that you can get out of that, and whatever that look says, that's what I would write. So if you can get a camera for free, and your grandma said you use her house, and with the camera you got, you look at it, and it only looks good during the day, well, we're gonna film here only during the day. You know what I mean? And when I look at grandma's house in this, it looked like a movie that happened in the 80s. But we're gonna get all the 80s clothes and shoes we can find, and we're gonna write a story about the 80s and have it right here at grandma's house, because this is the best. You see what I'm saying?
This is what we're gonna use this camera for.
Like reverse the process. Instead of trying to make something and get people to like it, find what people like and make that. It's a whole lot easier to market. You know where you're going. There's nothing to figure out. They're telling you the story. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And you move faster, you make more money, but in order to do that, you got to get your emotions out of the way.